Um, how you guys doing? Hope everyone took my advice last night and watched a little bit of TV um, and fell asleep and had a good night's sleep. I hope everyone felt a little bit better. Well, feels a little bit better this morning. I certainly do. This is going to be like a short video. It's not going to be too long, but I want to emphasize on something. On like social media, you're gonna you're gonna have a lot of memories. They're going to be popping up on social media and stuff like that with you, your wife, or your husband, your kids. I think it's important. Like for me, it was important for me to delete some pictures. And it's really going to be hard, to delete some of these pictures because you don't want to. But I think it's going to give you a little bit of peace of mind to delete some pictures and photos of stuff. I mean, you don't have to delete them all, but I think certain videos and photos you might want to like um, keep them on the back burner. You don't want it to be. It's not a good idea to go through your phone and look at the memories that you have with your family. It's gonna hurt. And you're gonna feel down. You're gonna be upset. Um, I certainly do. That's for sure. And I have a lot of videos and photos of my family over the years. It's been almost 11 years. So um, you probably want to start doing that. This is part of your healing process. I mean, it's you might not want to. If you don't just move them somewhere else where you don't see them as often. On your phone, or put them in the clouds. Just you don't have to delete them completely if you don't want to, but put them up in the clouds where they're not coming up. Or you can certainly, uh, you know, take these photos and transfer them over to your computer and put them on a flash drive. That would help. That way you still have them. They're not completely deleted. Um, Also, in terms of like having pictures and photos around your house, I don't have any pictures of my wife at my house. I have pictures of my daughter, and that's what you want. Surround yourself with photos of your kids. Your kid around the house, because right now that's the thing that's most important. Is your kid, and having photos around around your house with your kid. Um, it's a great start. Plus, your kids will probably like to see those photos. They really do. I know my kids always looking at my phone and looking at some of the photos that we have together when she was a kid and stuff like that. And it's good. It's good for them. It's good for you. But I did get rid of some of the photos I had. Actually, when I moved over here, I didn't. I don't have any photos of my wife in my house. I don't think she does either. I'm sure she got rid of them because, like I said, she's moved on. She's with someone else. I mean, that's understandable. But yeah, so I wanted to touch up briefly on that. And especially with social media. You're gonna have these memories that pop up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, well, X. Um, it's not gonna be good for you. You're gonna be looking at those photos, and you're gonna have memories of being, you know, remember what you did that day. You might have had a great day that day. You're just gonna feel a little down and depressed. So my advice to you would be to just get rid of them. Like I said, you don't have to delete them completely. But um, try not to view them a lot. I certainly don't view the ones I have a lot. To be honest with you, I haven't even um, had the urge to do it. I mean, uh, I actually blocked my wife, so I won't have to see any of the stuff that she's seen on social media. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to, you really do need to do that. I know it's going to be hard, but it's going to give you peace of mind. Or if not, you're going insane. Like I say, your brain is going to math with you. It's going to mess around with your emotions. You're going to start going down a little bit or feeling, you're gonna be hurt, obviously, and we're focusing on healing, that's what you want. You want to start healing, recover, because it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a long time. and that's something you're gonna have to deal with. Like I said, if you're having a hard time, dealing with the separation, you wanna, gravitate to, like, people who care and love about you, people who love you and care about you, and are concerned with your mental health, um, your family. If you don't have a family, your friends. Everyone has friends. Um, but you wanna gravitate towards the friends that are really sincere about your well-being, because those are the ones that really care. And I mean, because you don't really want to put your stuff out there. Everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna talk, and for those that don't know and they find out, they're gonna start asking you what happened. And you might not want to talk about it anymore because you're just tired of talking about it. And then it's gonna start putting your business out there a little bit. Because they're gonna start talking to someone else and other people. Next thing you know, it's gonna get around really quickly. And so in terms of like social media, like I said, you want to really cut the tides a little bit, because it's not going to be healthy for you. You're going to you know start moving forward. You're going to be taking a step back. And I mean that's not. And sometimes it's not a bad thing, but you want to focus on recovery. That's what you really want to do. And social media has a tendency of, like, bringing somebody down a little bit because of the life you had, memories. I mean, you can hold on to those memories up here if you want to. There's nothing wrong with holding on to it as well too. And I mean, it could be a good thing, but I think that when you recover, you can look back at those memories and say, man, oh, we had a good time. I mean, I'm sorry that it just ended the way it did, but it could be amicable, and hopefully by then, you're going to be at a place where you feel really good about yourself. And that's what it's all about, because you don't really need to be enemies with your significant other. That's not what this is about. It's about recovery. There's no need to be enemies with your significant other. Things like this happen, and it's good to be cordial and have a direct line of communication, especially if you have kids. But you don't want to be enemies, because there was a time when you loved each other, and you had each other's back. And now that you're no longer together, it doesn't mean you have to be enemies. So I want to emphasize on that too. It's not. And things like this happen. They happen. Someone leaves, for whatever reason, and the person on the receiving side is the one that's going to be affected the most. Obviously, it affects both of you. Don't think it doesn't affect her, because when with me, when this started happening, we were both crying. We were upset that that we were going down this road where we were about to get separated. But just, you're not alone. She obviously recovered a lot better than you did, because she was the one that initiated, or he, but for us, who are on the receiving end, we need to, be strong, physically, mentally, definitely mentally. You got to start moving forward, think forward. You got to start eating healthy. Go to the gym. I recommend going to the gym. For those of you that don't go to the gym, you should go to the gym, because it really helps a lot. It does, it keeps your mind focused, and you're taking care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. You should take care of yourself. Anyway, the older you get, the harder it is, especially for people like my age, in their 50s. Because if you're not on the road to recovery, and you're a little older, maybe your physical appearance will start changing a little bit. It just the way it is. You lose the weight, people are gonna notice. You start drinking, people are gonna notice. You start doing drugs, people are gonna notice. Sometimes you start you start getting into these habits that you don't usually do or never did, and that's not good for you. That's not, unless it's a positive, unless it's something good. That's something good might come from it. If you never, another person that goes to the gym, you start going to the gym, you might start liking it, and then when you start liking it, you start feeling better, you start looking better. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a great hobby, and it can become part of your life. Obviously, the older you are, the more you probably want to work out, because too many physical appearance isn't really a thing, but to some they are. So I would definitely recommend going to the gym. And you got to eat healthy too. You really do. Just don't. But people start eating things that they don't normally eat either. You start gaining weight. They start going to depression. You're already depressed, so you don't need to be more depressed than what you are. And not only that, but you start having some. You start getting sick, stuff like that, and you don't want that either. So my advice to you would be to just start eating healthy, going to the gym. I just got up not long ago. I'm gonna take a shower and everything, go to the gym. That's gonna take about an hour, so I'm gonna be focused on that, and then I'm gonna probably see about maybe see my kid later on for a couple of hours. That's gonna be good too. It's good for you. But you got to stay busy and stay focused. And again, like I said, in terms of social media, try not to, get on there a lot and see what your ex is doing, because it's not healthy for you. So you want to, you want to cut the ties a little bit. Delete some photos. Like I said, it doesn't have to be permanent. You can just transfer it to a flash drive and keep it, put up in the clouds or something. But right now, you have to focus on yourself, because no one else is going to help you. This is something, in terms of you can have advice and talk to people, and then people are going to be there for you, but this is something you have to do on your own too, because you have to, like I say, sometimes you have to go through this to change the person who you are, or were, and it's gonna make you a better person. You're gonna look back and say, I didn't really like the person I was, and I'm kind of glad maybe I had to go through this to change, because it's not something you want. Because when you get involved in another relationship, you don't want to go back to being that same person you were. It's just, you're just going to be in and out of relationships, and you're never going to find someone who's going to really want to be with you, or someone you deserve. So my advice to you would be to just Facebook memories, and they're all going to pop up. Obviously, there are going to be times when every year, every anniversary, things are going to pop up, and you're going to be like, oh, you're going to look at your phone and say, oh, it's going to hurt a little bit. So, and obviously, you look at it and that's fine, but I would suggest not to get on there a lot. You can get on this channel, which is great, right? But I would suggest not doing that, because you need to cut ties with your ex, especially if you're not going to get back together. And don't follow her, because it's not healthy for you. It really isn't. And like I said, at nighttime, nighttime's just the worst. So I would suggest, watching some movies and stuff like that and everything, if you have to stay out a little longer because you don't want to go home, that's fine too. But don't go out to a bar and and start drinking and stuff like that. Just go somewhere, see some friends, and find something to do. Go to the gym. You can go to the gym anytime. Some of these gyms are open 24 hours. But I would recommend doing that and to take care of your body, your mind. Definitely take care of your heart, because depression alone could cause you to get sick. And don't pick up some of these bad habits. Smoking cigarettes and drinking and drugs and stuff like that. You don't want to do that, and it's just not good for you. So that's the only advice I'm going to give you right now. I'm going to leave. I'm going to make another video later on. So please subscribe to my channel over here. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that bell, a notification, and just spread the message, because everyone who's going through this, whether you're married or not, is going to want to maybe watch some videos and take some advice. And if it can help them out, then that's great, because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to be able to, if you can relate to something that I'm saying, and you know that you have to make a change, and that's what you have to do, because otherwise you're going to lose the person you love, and you might not get them back, and you're going to be heartbroken, and you're going to be in a situation where, like where I'm at, you're going to be living alone, no activity in the house, and you're going to be sad, and you're going to be lonely, and you don't want that. So find something constructive to do. Gym, eat healthy, heal your mind, your heart, and enjoy yourself with friends. Go to like groups that helps too. Like I said, those things are great. If you have to see a therapist, go see a therapist. By all means, go see a therapist, because everybody's dealing with this differently, and therapy is great. Thanks again. I'll talk to you guys later on. Remember, just keep this right here intact, so you have to like clear your mind, focus, your heart, definitely your heart. These two are connected over here. So, you want peace of mind, but you take care of yourself, be strong, and I'll talk to you guys later on, okay? Peace, love you.